Good morning. I've spent the last 2 days trying to get this video thing to work, but it's hard to teach old dogs new tricks. So much for going out and spending $200 on a camera. Anyway, let's go to question number 1 on the week 15 discussion, which is describing 3 things that you know now that you did not know at the beginning of the class. I would have to suggest that all 3 of these would be the different concepts in the motivations chapter. I come from a military career where your motivation was simply that you were told to do it. You obeyed the orders from those above you, and if you were in a command position, such as I was, then you forwarded those same orders lower on down the line, other than separating and delegating specific responsibilities to the individuals under your command. There was no, let me make this fun for him, let me make him want to do this. It was simply, these are your orders, follow them. So the motivations chapter to me is the newest thing. And in essence, I've pretty much always felt that in most business, the motivation is financial. A pay raise, a bonus, or promotional. I want a promotion, which also includes there's a raise with the promotion. If I take a step up in responsibility, I take a step up in finance. So to learn the various other motivations other than the finance and business was probably the most of the learning for me. My favorite chapter, without a doubt, would be probably chapter 4, the chapter on attitudes, emotions, and ethics, and predominantly the ethics. For the most part, I'm not moved at all by emotions. I was specifically in a position where I never had to consider them, and in fact had to block them out so that they didn't interfere with my mission. Attitudes, well, everyone's entitled to one. Keep it to yourself. But ethics is one of the things that drives my life. Additionally, there were some parts of chapter 2 that had a great deal to do with ethics and facing ethical dilemmas by management and leaders. And I am, as they used to say, a black and white kind of guy. No gray areas. Cut and dried. It's either A or it's B. There's no A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6. Nothing in between. A or B. You're right or you're wrong. You did it or you didn't. So ethics to me is without a doubt my favorite subject, because even in business, I've lost literally tens of thousands of dollars on one job because I misquoted it. When I gave the bid on the job, I bid significantly lower, in one case based upon what I was told by the other party, but because I didn't do my homework and find out that he was wrong, and I accepted what he said as true, it cost me literally tens of thousands of dollars, but I did it anyway because I had committed myself to it. That's ethics. Not necessarily smart business practice, but it was the right thing to do. My least favorite chapter, well, let's go back to chapter 3, I think. Personality. Yeah, personality had to be my least favorite chapter. And I realize it's an old cliche, leave your personality, leave your problems, leave all that at home when you come to work. When you come to work, you come to work. Kind of cliche, but I believe it. And I do realize that it's difficult. I mean, if you have an issue with your child ran away, your child's fighting with you, the husband or the wife is, going to be on next week's edition of Discovery ID's Killer Spouses. I realize those are not things you can necessarily turn off when you walk in the door of a business for your job. So I do realize that there are some personality issues, but I'm a firm believer in tamping them down as much as possible. And if things are so significant that you can't tamp them down to a reasonable degree, then I've always been one that felt, well, what good are you to me here if you're not 100%? And I'd have to say, I appreciate your coming in and living up to your obligations. That's good ethics. But if by coming in you're doing more interfering with my job than you are promoting my job, then I'd prefer you call in and ask me, and if you tell me that that's the situation, then we can leave it home. Personalities, especially personality conflicts between employees, I would have to say I'm not a babysitter. I didn't start a business to be a babysitter. And I'm not going to be. I deal I deal with grown men in my business, and many of them fail to act like that. Accordingly, I treat them like men and try to make them grow up very quickly. Learn to resolve issues amongst themselves, which is part of their own management skills. If not business management, life management. So personality would be, without a doubt, my least favorite. Most surprising to me was the work teams chapter or portion of the book, in that in business I've not been familiar with work teams. I suppose every Pizza Hut could be called a team. They're all working together to get this pizza to this customer. Deal, team. And one person's job is to take the order, one person's job is to make the dough, one person's job is to top the dough, one person's job is to cut and box the pie, and then another person possibly to serve it or deliver it. So in essence, I suppose those are work teams. When I'm looking at this, I look at it more in an industrial viewpoint. And I know, for example, Lever Brothers, which was in Cartersville, I had a friend that worked there, and he was a team leader. And all the decisions were made by the team, including personnel decisions within the team. There were management there and supervisors around to watch the teams, but the teams made those decisions. And I could never grasp that concept. I suppose not if, I don't work and play well with others. So therefore, I wouldn't want a team of these others to be the ones to decide if I get to be employed or be promoted or any other thing. There are people who prefer solitude. Um, in a team concept, those people would end up losing a job if a company converted from normal operating procedures that are standard into the team setting. And he just was a person like myself that doesn't work well in teams with a team making decisions. I'm a firm believer in a leader. Someone has to lead. And in a team, the teams, as I understood them at Leader Brothers, don't have a leader per se. The whole team has a vote. It's a democracy. I believe in something a little more tiered, but not a kakistocracy. There's a new word for you. Look that up. Kakistocracy. If I could change anything about my participation or performance in this class, it would be this video. We should have been doing the video thing from the beginning. I like it. And I have enjoyed. Have a good day.